Hello and happy Halloween, little stitches. Today's kit we are making a ghost macrame. If you stopped by the library and picked up a kit, inside it you will find a small square piece of felt, a hoop, and a bunch of yarn. If you did pick up a kit from the library, two things you will still need are some glue and scissors. You can use Elmer's glue, or if you have an adult that can help you, you could also use hot glue. Alright, to start out, we're going to get our hoop and all of our yarn. So to do macrame, we're using a series of different types of knots to get a different design that you want. Each line of yarn is 3 pieces. So you're going to go into your yarn pile and get 3 every time we do a new line. So I'm going to match up my ends the best I can. We could trim it later, so don't worry too much. And I'm going to fold it in half. So I have 3 strings of yarn, fold it in half, and I'm going to start with my little loop on the top. I'm going to put my loop over the hoop and grab all of the string and pull it through. Pull that nice and tight and pull it down. So then it will look like that. For the next part, you can keep doing that all across the top. Remember, each time you're going to use 3 strings of yarn, or you could do top and then the bottom, and I'm going to show you that. So I'm going to take all of my yarn, I'm going to put it under my hoop this time, bring it up, go under my yarn, grab all of the ends of the yarn, pull it under and through. So if you look at this, I'm just making a knot. So my yarn goes under the hoop, around my finger, under the yarn, and I have my ends here and I'm pulling it through. And pull it nice and tight. Now how I did that, if I do it different, the ends of the yarn and the end of this knot is going to fall different ways. You can kind of see on here, maybe this one I did a little bit different than this one because this yarn goes this way and this yarn goes that way. If it's not exactly the same each time, that's okay because it adds to the spookiness of the ghost. So don't worry too much. So I'm going to do that again. I'm going to take 3 strands of yarn. Oh, there's a short one in there. That's for the top. So I'm going to set that short one off to the side. Okay. I'm going to line up my edges. I'm going to line up the ends of my string. Fold it in half again. So for the top, we're going over the hoop, pulling the string through that loop, pull it nice and tight, and pull it down. Then for the bottom, we're going to bring the yarn under. Now we're bringing the ends up. I'm going to put my hand under the yarn to pull the ends through. So I've got a knot that kind of looks like an upside down number 4. I'm going to grab that end and pull it straight down. And I'm going to keep doing that until I've used up all my yarn strands. So 1, 2, 3. fold it in half, making a loop up top, grabbing the ends of the yarn, pulling up, nice and tight, pull it down, put my yarn under, up, I'm putting my hands under the yarn, and not all of the yarn, just the new strands. So I'm only knotting the new ones. Pulling that through and inside the knot. Nice and tight. Okay, this time I'm going to do it on a little bit of an angle so you can see it a little bit different. So we're taking 3, matching up those ends, fold it in half. So I'm taking my loop, going over the hoop, putting my fingers in that loop, grabbing the ends, pulling it through, nice and tight, pull it down. We're going to put those strands of yarn under and then pull it over. I'm going to put my hand under the yarn to pull it through. Remember, we're only using the new yarn, the part that's tied, we're not touching that anymore. And then nice and tight all the way down. So you can keep moving them closer together so there's no spaces. The nice thing with making these knots is if you need to take it apart and try again, you could just unknot it if you need to. But if you've got the hang of it, we're gonna just keep doing that until we're all out of the yarn. Okay, this time I'm gonna try to do it upside down so you can see. So I fold it in half, I put the loop over, and then I'm gonna grab all the yarn, pull it nice and tight, pull it down. Then remember, we go under the hoop, and then we're gonna bring it up, then I'm gonna bring it over, under, and then through. Nice and tight all the way down. Very good. Alright, once you get to a point where you've used all of your yarn, or you like how your ghost looks, you can stop. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 along the top. So I'm going to find my short yarn piece that was in there, fold it in half. I'm going to make a knot on the top so it's a loop. I'm going to find my middle, so if I have 8, I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of move it a little bit apart, put my loop in here, pull that knot through and pull it up, and then I'm going to push all of that back together. Now I have the shorter yarn that is here, so if I wanted to hang my ghost up, I have somewhere to hang it from. I have all my yarn in a knot up top, a knot on the bottom to make a nice macrame ghost. I have all my ends down here. Now let's find our piece of felt and our scissors. At this point, if you want to trim the ends of your yarn, you can do that with the scissors. You can either cut it straight across so it's all even. You can cut it so they're all different lengths. It's really up to how you want your ghost to look. If you like it the way it is, then you do not have to cut it at all. So I'm actually going to leave mine. With your felt, you have enough to make two eyes and a mouth. You can not make any if you like your ghost how it is. You can make just the eyes, you can make a scarier mouth, you can really make it any facial expression you want. If you like the one I did, I'm going to show you how to do that. So I folded that piece of felt and I'm going to cut it in half. One half is going to be my eyes. So I'm going to leave it folded so that way when I cut my circle out for the eyes, I have two that are the same. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to make a nice circle. If you want to trace it first, you might have to use white chalk or something like that because it is black, so you might not be able to see if you drew on it. So I'm just going to do it freehand. You could also draw it out on a piece of paper and cut the paper out and use it as a pattern if you prefer. So I have my two eyes. And again, if you just want two eyes on your ghost, you can stop there. But if you want to make your mouth, now you have a longer rectangle shape to either do a nice long mouth, so it's saying boo, or you can turn it this way if you want to cut a smile or an angry face or anything like that. But I'm going to do it like this one for now. So I am going to fold it in half again, but be careful not to cut it along the edge that you folded it, or you're going to have two pieces, kind of like what we did with the eyes. So if I fold it, I want to make sure the top, I want to make sure I know which side opens and which side's the folded side. So the folded side, I'm going to make sure not to cut. I'm going to make a half oval shape. There we go. And now I have room to play around. So I don't want it that big, so I'm going to cut it down a bit. Just like that. This is when you get your glue. You can use Elmer's glue or hot glue. That is up to what you have. So I'm just going to put a little glue on the back, stick it on. Elmer's glue is really strong. The main thing people do is not let it dry all the way. So if you do use Elmer's glue, I'm going to push it down and I'm going to let it dry for a very long time. So maybe a couple hours, or leave it for the next day and let it fully dry, and then you can hang it up and it shouldn't be a problem. If you use hot glue, just be careful and maybe have an adult help you with that. Once that's all dry, so I'm going to leave it down and we're going to show you with this one. You can hang it up and show off your macrame ghost for Halloween. Alright, thank you little stitches. I hope you had fun making your macrame ghost. If you have any pictures that you'd like to show me, you can post it on our Facebook or send it as an email. I'd love to see how your little ghosties came out. Until next time, goodbye.